What's some popular self-care advice that is actually really toxic? It started when I discovered this self-help book called Your Best Life Now by some woman named Rachel who had like 1 million followers. The book was all about protecting your energy and cutting toxic people out of your life. Sounded amazing after dealing with drama from friends and family criticism about my choices. The first person I cut off was my best friend Jenna. We'd been friends since middle school, but she didn't like my new boyfriend Tyler. He was older, had some issues, but I thought I could fix him. When Jenna tried talking to me about red flags she was seeing, I told her she was being negative and blocked her number. The book said anyone who questions your decisions is trying to control you. Next was my dad. He kept asking when I was going back to college after I dropped out to focus on my spiritual journey. I was working part-time at a coffee shop and spending most of my money on online courses about manifesting abundance. Dad said I was wasting my potential and needed a real plan, so I stopped taking his calls. Rachel's book said family members are often the most toxic because they're threatened by your growth. My contact list went from like 50 people to maybe 5 within 6 months, but those 5 people were all from the same online forums about self-actualization and cutting out negative energy. We'd spend hours validating each other's decisions to go no contact with family members and old friends. I felt so free and enlightened. My apartment had crystals everywhere, vision boards on every wall, and I meditated twice a day. Tyler and I were living together by then, and even though he couldn't keep a job and borrowed money constantly, my new community said I was manifesting abundance through love. Everything felt perfect until Tyler cheated on me with his ex and moved out overnight. He even took my laptop and some jewelry when he left. I was devastated and broke, but when I reached out to my self-help friends for support, they said I must have attracted this negative situation with my vibration. That's when my mom had her stroke. My brother Jake texted me like 20 times begging me to come to the hospital. Mom had been asking for me, but I'd convinced myself that mom was toxic because she always questioned my life choices and stressed me out. The online forum said I didn't owe toxic family members anything, even during medical emergencies, so I didn't go. I told myself I was protecting my peace and that mom would be fine. Jake kept texting updates that I ignored. He said mom was scared and confused, asking why I wasn't there, that she kept saying my name during physical therapy. 3 weeks later, Jake posted photos on social media of mom taking her first steps after the stroke. She was holding onto parallel bars, smiling weakly, surrounded by cousins and family friends I hadn't spoken to in over a year. Everyone was cheering her on, everyone except me. Looking at those photos broke something inside me. While I was crystals and meditation and protecting my energy, my mom was fighting to walk again without her daughter there. All those people I'd labeled as toxic were actually just people who cared enough to show up when it mattered. Then I lost my job. The coffee shop closed down permanently, and I had no savings because I'd spent everything on self-help courses and Tyler's expenses. I called everyone in my phone looking for help or even just someone to talk to. The 5 people from my spiritual community either didn't answer or said they were too busy with their own manifestation work. Jenna's number was still blocked. Dad's number went straight to voicemail because he'd probably given up trying to reach me. I sat in my apartment surrounded by all these affirmations about abundance and self-love, completely alone and broke. That's when I realized the advice about cutting people off wasn't self-care at all. It was just selfishness disguised as spirituality. Real relationships aren't supposed to serve you like products you can return. They're supposed to be messy and complicated and sometimes uncomfortable because that's how people actually work. It took me 3 months to work up the courage to text Jake. I apologized for missing mom's stroke and asked if I could see her. He was quiet for a long time, then said mom asks about me every day. We met for dinner the next week and I cried explaining how lost I'd gotten in all the self-help nonsense.